Namaste. Welcome to this session on School That Cares. और आज के सेशन में we have with us a person who has 30 plus years of experience in the education field. एक व्यक्ति जिन्होंने पिछले 3 दशकों से एजुकेशन फील्ड में उनकी सर्विसेज दी हैं. We have with us Mr. Kuldeep Guleria. Welcome, Kuldeep sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Kuldeep ji, we would like to know about your long experience. How did you come into this field? How were you inspired to get into education? And more about you, sir.
Well, sir, I studied from Scenic School and thereafter did my college and then post-graduation from Punjab University, Chandigarh in physics and B.Ed from HP University, Shimla. While I was doing my college and university, my passion was to get into the defense services, wherein I went for the interviews and was not in a position to get into that. Then I thought that it would be better that I choose a field where I can inspire the children to achieve their target, achieve their aim. In that view, sir, I got an opportunity to again work as a physics lecturer in Scenic School, Sujanpur Tira, where I studied. So it was a wonderful experience working in the same school where I got my schooling. It was a residential school, and I worked there for almost 13 years. I was in a position to motivate the children also because in Scenic School, the children aim to get into the defense services, into the National Defense Academy as an officer. There, I contributed my services and was in a position to learn many things. So then I thought that it is a time to move on. And I got an opportunity to get into the DAV College Managing Committee as a principal in the prestigious school at Mandi, where I am presently working for last 14 years. Sir.
Sir, I'll just unmute here. Importantly, that I understand that you studied from a Scenic school and then started working in a Scenic school or a college. So that is a very important part. I would love my audience to know and understand that what is the difference of life in a Scenic school versus a life in a normal school, if I may, for a teacher as well as for a student.
Right. Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Sir, Scenic schools are basically defense-oriented school, which are working under the Ministry of Defense. We have got a Scenic School Society, and these are residential school where the children get into 6th class and they remain in the school for 12 up to 12th class. Sir, as far as the residential schools are concerned, the best part of the residential school is that the children they decide or take their initiatives, and all the leadership qualities are they learn the leadership qualities there. They become self-dependent and they can take initiative. And because there is a proper time for the studies, there is a proper time for the play also. The physical activities are also taken care of. In nutshell, I can tell you that these residential school, particularly Scenic school, where the personality growth of the child is very, very important. And the same concept I took from there. And when I started working as a principal in Dav Centenary Public School, I started introducing the same kind of a concept to my own children also, where the emphasis is not only given on the rote learning, rather it is given on man-making. That means we have to prepare the 21st century citizen, where they are able to handle the pressure. Their emotional quotient is very high. They are in a position to sustain in a tough situation. So different kind of activities have been introduced, which we were having in the residential schools.
Awesome. So personality, leadership, discipline, more of extracurricular activities such that a person is able to stand on himself is one element about the Scenic school which you brought over here in this school as well. Tell us something more about your current school, sir. How much students are there? What all do you do? What is the specialty of the school?
Sir, I am working in a DAV Centenary Public School, Jawahar Nagar, Mandi, which is working under the aegis of DAV College Management Trust and Society, New Delhi.
Yes.
We have got around 1,000 schools pan India, sir, and the Honorable President Padam Shri Dr. Poonam Suryaji is our head, sir, and he keeps guiding us for the various kinds of initiatives which we as a leader, school leader, have to take and imbibe certain qualities, the Vedic values among the children. We work on the principles of Arya Samaj, and we say that go back to the roots. That means go back to the Vedic values, and those Vedic values forms very, very important and pertinent in the life of the children in DAV schools.
Wonderful. Going back to the roots, building on the Vedic learnings which we have as a part of our culture is something very wonderful. One more interesting thing which I would now connect it further was with 1,000 schools network and COVID coming in last year, March 2020, when the first signs were there, the first lockdown happened. What was the reaction of such a big network and an individual school? How did you really take care of that situation, or what happened when the lockdown was announced? What was your situation of the schools then?
Uh, Sir, since it was a different kind of a situation to all the educators and all the institutions or the organizations, nobody had thought of such a kind of a worst situation which would, grab the society. Well, the lockdown started from 23rd or 24th of March, and immediately the message came from our management that we have to get ready for the alternate mode of teaching and learning. So, sir, since I am working as a regional officer of the DAV public schools also, so the first and foremost thing was that we have to update the teaching skills, online teaching skills of our teachers. So what we did was that we took the webinars of the computer teachers of our zone. I'm heading 12 schools. There are 12 schools under me. Then we started knowing that how we can proceed from the offline teaching to the online teaching, and what are the various gadgets and apps that we can definitely that those can definitely help us in moving on from one to the another. After that, sir, we conducted the webinars to the teachers of our schools also, and to the zone also. Subject wise webinars were conducted, and the teachers were made comfortable in the first 15 or 20 days, wherein they were given the updation of the skills and the teaching skills, as well as these kinds of gadgets and apps. Meanwhile, sir, we wanted that till the time we switch on to the online teaching, we gave instructions to all our teachers that you have to make the videos of your topics, and those videos must be sent to the children. And sir, in the very first week of April, we moved on to that kind of a teaching, and the videos were sent. Then the question answers and all that techniques were given to the teachers also. Initially, the teachers were not very comfortable facing the camera. It was a very difficult situation for the teachers because they had never been used to it. But slowly and steadily, all the teachers, they accepted the change, and they accepted that it might continue for many years, many say months. So we have to impart this knowledge, or the curriculum has to be covered through this kind of a mode also. And after say 20 or 21, 22 days, we switched over to the online teaching, sir.
Awesome.
We're on Zoom, on different kind of apps, on
Platforms.
Google Meet, on Zoom app, on WebEx, and all those.
Wow. So wonderfully you pinpointed the problem and the solution so quickly, as if कुछ हुआ ही नहीं था, problem ही नहीं था. You said that the teachers were trained, training भी हो गया, and the teacher also shifted online, and initially there was some hookup that the e-learning platform was not ready, so we had an intermediate solution of recording videos and publishing it, and even the hitch of the teachers of facing the camera you removed. I would like to ask, इतने आसानी से हो गया, या were there some tough times, some days when you felt कि यार बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ रही है ये?
No, sir. It was a tough time for the teachers also, and for the educators also, for the principals also, because the teacher had to make 5 minutes video. It took them say 2 hours to make that 5 minutes video, and its editing was also very, very important, because it was to be sent. It will go public. And if there is any error in it, it would be in public domain, then you cannot do anything. So the videos were made, the videos were sent to the head of the particular subject team, and then selected videos were given to the principal and the coordinators, and then we would say that it's okay, you kindly publish it. Definitely, it was a difficult situation for everyone, for the teachers, for us, for parents, for students also.
Yes. It is an entire process that had to be set up, like creating
Yeah,
content,
definitely.
creating video content, getting it edited, approved, then finding a way to send it to the students. I want to ask over here, were the students and parent ready and accepting the new way of teaching, the new normal of teaching, or were there some challenges which you had to face there?
Sir, initially nobody was ready for this kind of a teaching. Even the parents were not ready. Parents had their own set of problems. They were not having the gadgets for the children, and they were of this opinion. Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Parents were not ready. Students were not ready. But we had webinars for the parents also. We had a meeting on webinar, online meeting with the parents, and since they were aware of that, this situation will continue for months together. So definitely the parents and the stakeholders also came in. They also collaborated with the schools. They accepted the change, and but still there were two children in a family. Parents were not having that resources also to provide the mobile to the both the children. So that is why when the videos were sent, the parents were happy that at least they can see the videos. They can see the videos in a off time or in their leisure time also. When one child is not using it, the other can use it. Slowly and steadily, yeah, the problems were overcome by the parents also, by the teachers also, and students. Yeah, definitely, students are techno savvy. Present day generation is a techno savvy. They loved it.
Very
They
true.
loved
Very
it.
true. So in fact, the
But
students
more, it
learned
was
it.
a
The students must have learned faster than the teachers. Like,
yeah. Sir, students are 10 steps ahead of the teachers.
yeah. I recall of my experience where the students used to guide me, sir, वहाँ पे एक unmute button है या वो mute button है or there is something which you
Yeah.
could click there and this is what will happen. And something similar
The
must have
problem,
happened, some experiences.
yeah, definitely. Sir, definitely. Particularly the teachers who are in the age group of say 40 plus, they face this difficulty because they are not that techno savvy. But sir, nowadays they have learned it. They have learned it from the student also.
Awesome.
As you told, that student told, yeah, ma'am, there is an unmute. Please unmute yourself. You are not being heard. Your voice is not clear, and there is buffering also. So these kind of terminology, even the students communicated to the teachers, and teachers, yeah, they had a tough time. But I'm happy to say that in my school, the teachers went extra mile, to learn and update their teaching skills and disseminate the knowledge and cover the curriculum to the children.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, sir, you must have also developed some new processes now to do the online way, like the attendance or even assessment or even homework now would be in a different format than the regular ways. Would you help us understand a few new practices or processes which you incorporated now?
Sir, definitely, because these are not the normal classes, and every day the same subject teachers will not go into the class. So we have to, because we have to take into consideration the screen time for the children also. It should not be more than 2 hours that the children are there on the screen. So we designed the timetable in such a way that after each period there is a gap of 20 minutes, and in a day, for the classes to LKG to fifth, for LKG up to second, there will only be 1 or 2 classes in a day, and remaining would go through the WhatsApp, in their WhatsApp group as the videos of the teachers. For the classes say third to fifth, there will be 2 classes or 3 classes, whereas for the higher classes it will be say 4 classes, not more than 4 classes in a day. So on daily basis there won't be a subject period. It will be on alternate basis. So we devised a processes that when there is a subject period, you will teach. When there is no subject period, you will give assignment of whatever you have taught to the children, because we didn't want that screen time to increase. So these kind of planning was made, that how the work schedule has to be given to the children, and once they have covered that particular chapter, how we will evaluate that. Evaluation is also very, very important in teaching learning process.
True.
So the tests were conducted through Google Form and different modes, through test modes, through Google Forms, and then we switched over to the classroom situation, Google Classroom, where the children were made to write on, the lengthy questions also. One basic problem was that in this online teaching, the children, they listened, they didn't want to do that homework. So we devised a method wherein the copies, the notebooks of these students were called by the subject teachers to the school once in a month, so that the teachers can check the notebook also, and the children, they can on daily basis do their home assignment also. Otherwise, they are very happy listening, they are very happy taking the classes, but they are not very happy in writing no noting down whatever is being taught to them.
True.
Secondly, the other processes like the attendance. Now, it was also very difficult that how the attendance will be taken. So we have got certain set of teachers, like we have got music teacher, we have got physical education teachers, we have got counselor, those who were not taking the online classes. We divided certain classes and gave them those classes that you will get into these classes, and will at random you will take the roll call of the children. And if somebody is not coming, say for is not attending the classes for continuously for 1 day or 2 days, you will give a call to the parents that why your son or daughter is not attending the classes. That way, it helped us to improve the strength in the class also, and on daily basis, it was almost 90 plus that the children were attending the classes. So these kind of processes were to be incorporated in our day-to-day schedules.
Wonderful, sir. Very, very elaborate answer, and thank you for building onto all the points, from teaching learning points of getting from video recording, and ensuring that you care for the screen time, one of the very important concern which every parent has. So छोटे बच्चे हैं, smaller kids, you have lesser time, bigger kids, you have a bit more time, and then sending the rest of the stuff on WhatsApp group or something on those lines, that's something which you call as the blended learning approach, which teachers have picked up. Yeah, very wonderful part of it. And then assessments in different modes, just not objective Google Forms, but also something which in the Google Classrooms where the kids could write, maybe take a photograph and scan and upload.
Yeah,
and even,
they were asked to send the PDF of that photograph, and the parents were requested to deposit those answer sheet with the school, so that we can check it manually also.
Yeah.
And sir, we conducted the examination. Yeah, we conducted the offline examination to these children. Once the second term, we took the pen paper, where we requested the stakeholder, we requested the parents to be the observer in the classroom. Similarly, the children were asked to switch on their cameras while they are writing down the answers in their note sheets.
Yeah.
Then those note sheets were sent to the school by the parents. We checked it.
Wow.
Pre-board examinations were conducted in the school for 10th and 12th classes. We had almost 1 month, 1.5 months where these children were called to the school. We divided one class into 2 sections, so as to keep the protocol of the COVID protocol in view, sir.
This very importantly shows the commitment which you and your team had, your board had towards the learning and development of the child, even assessment, because finally students need a goal. क्यों पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं? Why am I studying? There's going to be no exams, no is going to assess me, फिर मैं क्यों पढ़ूं? And that's something which even students have, and that's something which you really very importantly cared for, and that is what you did. Awesome examples of even practices that the attendance which could come through online part, or where you have like the supervisor coming in, sudden check of who is there, and if they are not there, calling people. I heard you say 90% students attended the classes online. Is that correct that I heard that?
Yes, sir. It is correct, sir. Bilkul.
That's beyond average of any normal school whom I have heard. Normally schools say 30 to 40%, 50%, 60% students attended, but a 90% attendance is worth the salute. That must
be
real.
It could only be possible because of the commitment of the teachers, and if somebody is not coming, the supervisor will give a call to the parents. The class teacher after the class will give a call to the parents that why your son or daughter has not attended.
True.
And my teachers and my team had shown extra care for the children and for the parents. I owe all this to, for their commitment.
For their commitment. Even they must have found it very challenging to make the online sessions interesting, because conducting a lecture in a classroom with a whiteboard, demonstrating it using those pedagogies of classroom learning would be different here in the online mode. Any new techniques of teaching learning which your teachers picked up, or you guys guided the teachers to look at online teaching
So
a bit different?
in the online teaching, I am very happy to tell you that my teachers have introduced different elements in their online classes. It's the participation of the student. It is not only a one-way process of teaching. The children were involved. They were asked different at a different stage, different questions. After that, the teacher would divide the class into the two teams, A and B, and the discussions on the topic. Recapitulation is done in that way, that whether the children have learned the concept or not. So their discussion, and every child is given an opportunity. Say it is not possible, but subject teacher makes it a point that every child is given an opportunity to come and speak up, so that the other element of his personality are also developed. It's not only the teaching and learning, rather the other elements of the personality must also be developed.
True.
And so we conducted these co-curricular activities also through online mode, like
Wow.
debates, declamations, dance competition. We asked the children to make their own video and send it to the children, send it to the teacher, and then we would paste it. We would publish it in the Facebook page of the school or on the website of the school. Likewise, sir, one very interesting point which I would like to tell you is that we
Please.
were in the habit of celebrating the annual function on every year.
Yeah.
So in 2020, we had a challenge that how we can celebrate the annual function. So, sir, we celebrated it virtual annual function. We named it as Parivartan. We called the
Yeah.
children. You can go to a website of my school and you will see that how well it was. So it was conducted, and it was when it was made public. More than 20,000 people, they watched it. So it was
Wonderful.
a new concept. It was a new concept that my team has developed.
That's so interesting. Just not keeping children involved in the learning through breakout rooms or polls or through discussions, even menti.com, etc., which normally teachers use, but also doing extracurricular activities like debates, asking them to create videos, and even the annual function. Wow. That's
Annual
something
function,
very
yeah.
interesting. That's something very interesting. Now, having understood about the practices, the processes, the teaching learning methods, even extracurricular activities which you brought in, the whole year kind of flew by. So March 2021 came in, and the board exams question marks started coming in. What are your views about it? Should board exams be conducted, not conducted? Should it have been conducted? What do you suggest about it?
So it would have been better that the board examinations were conducted for the children, because the children studied throughout the year, and we have got a set of children who are really very hardworking. It is disgusting for them that they are evaluated on some other parameters which they were not aware of. But
Mhm.
anyway, looking into the COVID protocol and the guidelines of the government also, so we cannot put our children in that kind of a situation where they get exposed to the COVID. I'm happy that the way the CBSE has taken up this, examination, this preparation of the result for the 10th and 12th is very, very good. It is very, very effective, sir. There is no, the schools cannot go beyond the limit which has been set by the CBSE.
Wonderful.
It's not only the QPI of the school. It is about the how many children will be 90 plus, how many children will be below 60. I mean, there are 2-3 limit which the CBSE has set, and the result, the historical data which the CBSE has provided for the best result of the school. I mean, it is a fair practice done by the CBSE in preparing the result of 10th and 12th. So I am very much satisfied.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So even the boards had to innovate. They had to look at maybe the bell curve of how many students are in the top list, how
Yeah,
many
yeah.
in the average list, how much in the bottom list, and how do you really get it done without being biased towards anyone. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
keeping no malfunction happens. That's something very interesting. Now, 1 year has completely passed. Even the next year has started with lockdown 2 and lockdown 3 coming in, going out, whatever wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 we call it. How do you really look at the education for this year and the years ahead? Would there be some practices which would continue even if the classrooms open up, the physical classrooms open up? Would there be some processes which you would keep following, or how do you really look at it now?
Sir, in 2021 March, we were hopeful that we would be in a position to call the children to the school, but that didn't happen, and the lockdown was again prolonged. Uh, the one of the major challenge which the private schools, individually run school or individual organization schools faced was that most of the children started leaving the schools and went into the government sector, government schools, because the children had the parents had created a fuss over the fee structures, fee to be collected by the schools. So we had a difficult time in realizing the total funds which were meant for the that particular session. But here I would like to tell you that, sir, 500 application came to my school for admission in my school, and
Wow.
I could only take 75 or 80 out of that. So that gave me a confidence that the message into the society or to the stakeholder is that our team, my team, is doing a wonderful job, and they have been accepted by the parents. That is the reason that most of the children from other schools wanted to get admission in my school. So that gave us a confidence. Yeah, definitely. If offline classes starts, the best practices which we have developed for this COVID 2020 in the online mode will continue, sir. Now we can ask the teachers that make out a WhatsApp group of the children who are below, who are not a good scorer or who are average, and how can you take a class in the off time after the school? How can you cater to their needs after the school? So that is the plus point which I think the parents will also like and the teachers will also like. They don't have to pay any extra fees for that. It is the commitment of the teachers which will be put to the test, and I'm sure that all my teachers will be ready to give one extra hour beyond the school hour to these special children who have not understood particular topic. Similarly, if we are not in a position to take a test here in the physical classroom, I can ask my teachers to make a Google form and give it to the children in 25 minutes or 30 minutes. They can be in a position to take that test also. So these are some of the practices that will continue even after the physical classroom situation opens
Very,
up.
very happy to hear this from the leader that yes, we are going to follow the same, a few of the practices which could be useful even in the real world of differentiated learning. For the students who are not so good, we could have an online WhatsApp class, maybe if you want to call it, where we have some videos, we have some Q&A sessions which the teachers can do even without sitting in the class, so that they can go back to their worlds and then they can learn from there. Even about assessment, that's something very important that we see, yes, online ways of assessment coming in. Most importantly, which I liked from your last few minutes of discussion, was where the whole world of education, schools are talking about a problem of parents not being engaged or not accepting the online way and not wanting to pay fees. You said that there were new parents who wanted to take admission in your school and you really did not have those seats available for their admission. This very
Yes, sir.
clearly says that a good school is a good school, whether it is an online mode or an offline mode.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
the
yes, yeah, definitely.
Very true, very true. A teacher, a staff, a principal, a board, if you bring in all the systems, processes to teach, to engage, to care for the students, even in the online world, students are not going to leave you guys and go somewhere else. Though, yes, they definitely would have some expectations of reduced fees because of the crisis in the economic situation. But learning is definitely been an essential part of everybody's life. Wonderful.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
to hear, Kuldeep sir. That's something very, very, very encouraging for all schools to look at. Last
Thank
few
you.
things, Kuldeep ji. One very important thing which we look at is the parents to adapt to the new normal, if I may call this, where there would be blended learning now throughout, where you would have the classroom, you may not have the classroom for this 1 year, 6 months, maybe even longer, but the learning should continue. It shouldn't happen that I say, boss, COVID hai, student, you don't learn, or you learn, but we don't know how much. Thoda substandard learning is okay. We don't want that to happen. So as a principal, as a head of an educational institute, what message would you like to give to the parents of how they should handle the learning and development of their children?
Well, sir, one of the messages which I would like to give to the parents is that they have to accept the change. They have to accept the change. This may continue for one more year. We may have online classes for another year also. So they must collaborate with the schools, with the teachers, and find out that what best can be done to their children. And I would request all the parents to take extra interest in the academics or in the curricular or curriculum of the children also. They should keep a check that the child is really learning, or he is digressing from the learning and using the gadget for his own,
Entertainment,
happiness,
fun, yeah.
entertainment. Yeah, so that I would request the parents to kindly keep a check on each and every child, and they must observe it, because it is not possible for the teacher to keep a check on 40 odd children in a class. But definitely parents at home can keep a check on one or two children at home. So that message I would like to give. And secondly, I would request the parents that they should take everything in positively, because the schools have their own
Challenges.
expenditures, yeah, challenges. The expenditures has to be met by the school, and it is only possible because of the realization of the fees. They should not create unnecessary fee, fuss up for the collection of the fees, or giving the annual charges or any kind of a fees. Rather, they should cooperate during this pandemic situation. They should cooperate with the school, and definitely collaboratively they can work with the schools for the betterment of the children.
Awesome. A very important call by the educator himself, that parents and education institutes needs to collaborate for the learning of the child, and that's so very important. Parents uh, have started looking at education institutes as if they are the service providers, and I am the customer, I give money, you teach. But that's not something which is going to be the new normal. Children are at home in your custody, parents, and E, long duration relationship is what teachers have with students now. So you will have to play a very important role. As always, it's just not the academics collaboration, it's also the economic collaboration which has to happen
Yes,
for
yes.
institutes and schools to work together. And it leaves a very important impression on the student as well. If parents crib about the teachers and teachers crib about the parents, it's not going to be fun for the learner, not going to be fun for the student. And that's something which we have to really look forward to. That was wonderful message, Kuldeep ji. One more message which I would like you to give is to other school educators and other teachers who are kind of looking at it as a survive tactic. Kaise to bhi pandemic guzar jaye, then we will go back to normal. Is that the way, or do you suggest something else for the educators and other teachers who would be listening to you?
Sir, one thing which I would like to bring to your knowledge also, that this pandemic situation has, brought in the changes which probably we would have incorporated in our teaching after 10 to 15 years. So that is a positive of the, this pandemic situation. The educators must always be thinking one step ahead of any problem. We have to face the problem, and definitely we should give solution to the queries of the parents also, and to the children also. And if we take the ownership of the child, I am sure that each educator will accept the changes, whatever comes in her or in his ways, and will work for the growth and the development of the personality of the child, vis-a-vis its academic, its the quality of head, heart, and hand. All these elements must be taken care of by the educators while framing the curriculum. Or it's not only disseminating the knowledge or covering up the syllabus, rather the overall wholesome growth of the personality of the child must also be taken care of. Because these children, those who are not coming for the school in say 2 years or 3 years, are going to lose a great. Their personality will not be the same as that of the other children who are coming to the school. When the child comes to the school, it is not only the coverage of the syllabus, rather he learns different kind of these different kinds of traits in his personality, adaptation to the different kind of a situation, initiative he takes in the classes. He finds it challenging at challenges he face during the offline classes. So all these aspects we must, as educator, keep in mind while framing the curriculum for the online classes.
Sure. So wonderfully talked about the just not the cognitive skills, but also the emotional element of it, also the
Yes, sir.
personality element of it, the holistic education as we call it. Psychomotor must be a challenge, right? The PT, the games and the sports is something which is not happening. Do you have you faced this even with your students, that they have grown a bit heavy and
Yeah,
they are not exercising? Is that something which you have observed as well in your students, your
I have
teaching?
observed that the children, they have gained weight, sir. They have gained 5 kg to 6 kg weight, and they are not taking care of their own health also. Even they have grown a long hair also. They are not trimming the hair also. That kind of the things, and the parents are not in a position to
Say
get it
anything.
done for the children. They are requesting the teachers to kindly do something so that my son or daughter can do all
Very
these
true.
kind of things.
Very
Ji,
true.
ji.
Very true. I hope to see a innovative timetable now where the PT teacher starts the school early morning 6 o'clock with a online kind of a yoga or a Zumba
So
session.
we have been
And
sending the videos. Yeah, we have been
okay,
sending the videos by
that's
the PT
interesting.
teacher also and by the music teacher also.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Music teacher also sends the video, and
Mhm.
these are the videos for say 5 minutes or 7 minutes where the children can get up in the morning and do some exercises with the PT teacher also. And for the emotional development or for the compassionate development of the compassions development of the compassions among the children, the music teachers are also doing their duty very well by giving different kind of bhajan songs and all that.
Wonderful. Any other message you would like to convey to anyone? Anything you would like to say, sir, before I have my closing
Sir,
comments?
one message which I would like to give to the children is that they should take these online classes very, very seriously. Should not waste their time. These they are playing on these gadgets. Rather, they should play outside. They should do some exercises for at least 40 to 45 minutes on a daily basis. Apart from these classes, attending the classes, they should sweat out in the open so that they don't grow fat. That message I want to give it to the children. And for the teachers, sir, I would like to tell the teachers that please have that sense of belongingness for the school also and for the teachers, for the these student also. They
Wonderful.
are our children. We must have the sense of belongingness. He or she is my son or my daughter, and they may be having a different strategies. They have to develop a different strategies to educate the different kind of minds in the class. So they should go extra mile. They should go out of their comfortable zone to reach out to the needs, basic needs of these students. You called it as a differential teaching. They have to go for the differential teaching, sir.
Wonderful. So, boys and girls, very important message for you out there. Learning is happening. E-learning is happening. Yeah. So it is an opportunity for you to pick up knowledge from all these sessions. Don't lose that time. Don't lose that touch of learning. If you lose that touch of learning, maybe you will fall down in the attitude of learning, and learning is required lifelong. That's a very important message which Kuldeep sir has given for you, boys and girls, looking at this video. Plus, very important for teachers. Teachers, the ownership, the accountability, our children, the relationship is something which is important. I know many a times it is troublesome when the student does not want to learn or has his own tantrums which comes up, and that is where the real challenge comes in. That is where you as teachers are the most important pillar of the education system. We had today with us Kuldeep Guleria ji, who showed that he cares for the education system. Just not him, his entire board, his entire school, along with his teachers, his non-teaching staff, maybe a lot of technology people also supported him in this way to care for the students, to care for the parents, to care for their needs and objectives. It was just not my needs and objectives. It was the students' new needs, the change which was there in the atmosphere. And he did not let his objective set away because of the challenges. He wanted students to keep learning. He wanted that education should continue. And in spite of all the challenges, in spite of all the new things, the adaptations which he has to make, he ensured that he cared for the teachers, he cared for his objectives, he cared for the students, he cared for the parents of the students, and he cared for himself as well. Yeah, and that's something which we all need to learn, that care is important. And we hereby respect, salute a person who is who has created a school that cares. Thank you, Kuldeep sir. It was wonderful speaking to you.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed talking to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.